Hello everybody, this is John Felt. Welcome to the NCGA Valent Ag Weather Outlook, May 28th, 2016. Well, we're getting close to the start of the summer period, so my focus will be switching a bit as we get from the early planting season now to the actual more active growing season. So let's take a look at precipitation. There was definitely more precipitation. We've had this axis right here, Texas, and right through the Central Plains has been very busy, both severe weather. There was an F4 tornado over eastern Kansas, I noticed this week, all the way up, pretty much up toward South Dakota. But as we've gone east, it's been quieter. I'm going to be showing you the eastern Corn Belt has actually been somewhat quiet over the last couple of weeks. So it's really been the Central Plains that's been more active. And if you look at Kansas, that's 3 to 5 inches of rain, 2 to 5 inches of rain, fairly widespread. Eastern and central Nebraska as well, a little bit more like 1 to 3 inches. So when you look at the percent of normal, you can see a real difference here with the Central Plains above normal precipitation, that's indicated in purple, and the eastern Corn Belt well below normal. Very little precipitation, if any, from Illinois across Indiana and Ohio. So a very quiet week. Now, if we look at the number of rain days going back in the 30-day period, you can see that really May has been a wet month as far as looking at the number of rain days. Out of the 30 days, you can see green, which is at least 11, and in many cases 16 to 20 days of measurable rain. Now, an exception is North Dakota, northern Minnesota. That's quieter in that region. That's only 4 to 6 days. So from looking at the entire month of May, we can see it was fairly wet with the exception of this region right up here. But if we look a little bit closer in the last 7 days here, you can really see how it's been much quieter over the eastern Corn Belt. So the trend has been for less precipitation over states from Wisconsin and Illinois on to the east. Now, as far as temperatures go, above normal temperatures across almost all areas. Over the eastern Corn Belt along the Ohio River, you see that green, that's a little bit below normal. The upper Midwest, well above normal. That's that area of red. That's 6 to 10 degrees above normal for the week. So soil temperatures have been warming, generally speaking. And if we look at soil moisture, we still have wet soils in spots. Another way we can look at this, I think this shows it a little bit better. We have that core of wet soils running up through the central part of the Midwest here, from the south central U.S. into the Midwest. Some hints of dryness over the upper Midwest, and sort of neutral conditions over the eastern Corn Belt. Now, you might have heard there is a tropical system that we're looking at, Tropical Depression 2, that very likely could become a named storm. It's just going to affect the South Carolina and perhaps North Carolina coast. Just wanted to point out that that is something I watch very carefully because inland moving systems can produce a lot of rain and cause some problems. Don't see any impact with TD2 at this time. Nothing on the horizon. And actually, it's very common to have something really early that develops close in. That's usually weak. And then it does not foretell anything at all about an active season. It can be very, very quiet for months after this. So I wouldn't read anything into this. Okay, so the jet stream this week, what we notice if we look at this is, first of all, these lines aren't as close together. It's a much sloppier flow, so there's not as much energy. We still have some hint out of the southwest to flow, but we also have a flow that's beginning to come out a bit, sort of a northerly flow, or northwest flow, I should say, and that's going to gradually usher in some cooler weather towards the latter part of this week. Now, this is the average. This is the 5-day average. So it's going to average above normal, especially over the eastern Corn Belt. Most of the week is going to be above normal. But if we look at on Thursday, look at the blue here. We begin to cool down, and that's going to usher in a period that's going to go right through the 6 to 10 day period, probably even into the 8 to 14 day period of temperatures near or even below normal. So that's going to be probably the biggest trend in this briefing are the cooler temperatures. Now, these aren't going to be extreme cool temperatures, but they are going to cool down. Now, here's the rainfall forecast. It still looks like excessive rain over Texas and Oklahoma, but that does not look like it's going to be pushing up to the north. So just some modest precipitation over the Midwest. Could be some heavy rain here and there, but for the most part, I think it's going to average the week either below normal or close to normal. Now, if we go into the 6 to 10 day period, look at the jet stream here. We have that dip right in here, and that's going to give us temperatures that are cooler than normal. Here's your outlook. This is your 6 to 10 day, and you can see cooler than normal temperatures. Now, if we go through the 7th through the 12th, the dip in the jet stream pushes off to the east, so I think we're going to start to moderate as we get towards, maybe closer to 15-day period out. So the official outlook right now, this is the 6 to 10 day over here, and here's the 8 to 14, and you can see right now it is calling for below normal temperatures. So if you are looking for that, and one of the reasons I think this is important is the longer we can hold off from that really hot weather, the more we're sort of holding hot and dry conditions, in other words, drought, at bay. And I think this is good this time of year to sort of hold that off a little bit. I don't want real cool temperatures, but it looks to me like this is going to be modestly cool, and that's going to help because I'll talk about precipitation in a minute. Here's week 1. You can see not a whole lot of yellow, so normal, or maybe a little bit above normal. And then week 2, I think we're looking at more below normal. Now, I've said many times that it's a transition periods that we get our rain, and week 2 we're going to be mainly in the cooler air, and that's why I do expect below normal precipitation. So if you want to look at soil temperature progression, here we go. If you look at the upper Midwest, you can see more green, and that's indicating some of the cooling down of temperatures. The Eastern Corn Belt, on the other hand, sort of maintains those temperatures because that cool air really doesn't push in this week. So the bottom line, if we look at the changes in soil moisture as we go all the way out into June 5th, what you can see here is more areas of brown, and I think that's going to be the story. So again, I think the trends that I want to talk about in this briefing that I have hopefully expressed is that the rainy pattern looks like it's quieting down. We're going to go after the next couple days into a dry period, probably for the next couple weeks, mainly below normal precipitation. And then this cool down that's going to go in probably about 3 to 4 days out for the start, and it could go up to as much as 15 days, especially in the Eastern Corn Belt. I wish you all a great Memorial Day weekend, and I will be talking with you again next weekend.